Good morning. Today is September the 18th, 2025. It is about 10:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for the record, this is YAHWEH ELOHIM, YAHUWAH, YAHWEH. We're going to cover a couple things. We're going to cover our continuing coverage on the demonic possession of Earth, but we're also going to touch a little bit on the United Nations and their current predicament that they're unaware of. Much like many others around the planet right now, is I am who I am, and I have to do what I have to do. So, for those that truly do seek truth, it's baffling to me that Christians are so reluctant to pray and to worship correctly. And it's amazing how allergic people genuinely are of the truth. Because truly, when there is no truth found in a person, and it's blatant, it's obvious, it's proven, and it's befuddling me as Elohim to see my absence unto man as truly a punishment, as what it was intended. I was talking to Asherah last night about this, and we were discussing that very thing, that my absence was to be a punishment, and upon my return I find that the rotten children have hijacked the daycare, convinced the good children that pissing in the corner, biting the teacher, just completely insanity is somehow the way, and that even the best of people are so allergic to the truth that they would literally forfeit their own salvation. They would forfeit their deliverance, but bigger than that is they would forfeit a relationship with the Almighty, me, YAHWEH Elohim. And it is inexplicable to comprehend. It isn't like I am presenting a new book to my people. It is not like I am enforcing the Quran, which is a working of the adversary. It is not like I'm presenting, some Buddha manuscripts. No, I am simply presenting to you proof of my not only existence, but my interaction with humanity. And as I am here, I'm not going home until I have accomplished all that in which I will accomplish. Sweareth I, saith YAHWEH Elohim. Because, this is it. This is literally ground zero. This is the battle royale. The big cheese. Cameron jokingly, was saying this morning, tomorrow is the final boss fight of the week, and he's only 8, almost 9 this weekend, but that's another thing, his birthday is September 20th, and in all actuality, I think it's interesting, it wasn't on purpose, but it's just the way it happened. His birthday is actually the exact same birthday as Yahushua's, so I don't know how people got this December 25th birthday. That was not his birthday. Him and Cameron actually share a birthday, September 20th. Anyway, the point I'm making is, the exact Bible, in whatever version, just as a blanket statement, the very Bible that's found in a Catholic Orthodox church, a Christian church, a Baptist church, even non-denominational church, the same book. And again, that's why I don't really get myself into a tizzy about whatever version that we have as a family, because I use the Bible as more of a reference point when it comes to when it comes to making points. Our last service Asher and I went to was the First United Methodist Church. And, I I encounter this often where the pastor, that's another thing. I can not only see into the soul of a man, but I can read their thoughts, their actions, along with their heart. So it's for me as Elohim, I study man. But in this particular congregation, the pastor came into the faith and, did a very superficial seminary, focused around false name. And to make a long story short, he tried to integrate my real name, at least when we attended. And I knew in his heart he was very nervous. He was borderline stuttering. And this was almost a year ago. This particular one. I don't know, I just grabbed Asher's Bible, so I just found the little clip thing. But yeah, this particular pastor, he's still having a hard time trying to understand things. And it is true that I guess most humans probably would rather pick up a book of pleasure, right? And the Bible is a book that you need to read through the proper knowledge and understanding, because then that'll give you the proper perspective, of who I am. And that's the challenge, right? Is I almost think that it's this subconscious thing that humanity does, maybe out of fear, really, maybe out of fear of my wrath or my retribution against man. My wrath, my fury, honestly, are truly famous. And I really am just who I am. I don't have to ever try to be who I am. In fact, quite the opposite. When I go and do things in the public, I try my best to actually blend in more. But at the same time, I still walk adjacent. I still walk set apart. But there are situations that I can't help but, interact with people. And a lot of them know, some of them don't. But, that pastor is like hundreds of thousands of other pastors throughout the world, right? They were so confident in their salvation of Jesus Christ. They praise the name, they worship the name, they've emphasized the name. And in reality, all I see is so many Christians that have followed mankind's faulty ways, as I've said from the beginning. Instead of listening to me, YAHWEH Elohim, humans listen to their partners, right? Adam had a choice too. Adam didn't have to listen to Eve. And Adam could have stayed in the garden while Eve went out there on her own. But because Adam listened to Eve over me, and then they both went out. So my point is, even seeing that in the reality in which exists, seeing this in the proof, seeing this, that my word never returns to me void, but humans still to this day will stand ignorantly and arrogantly against me. And it's like, then go put my Bible down. This is really the crux of how I'm feeling. It's like, then put my Bible down, render your robe to the hanging on the pulpit, get off the piano bench, put the candles out, and go. Right? Go work at an ice cream shop for all I care. I don't care. But the fact is, if you are getting a paycheck from my sheep, if my sheep are writing your checks, that makes me your boss. Whether or not you believe in me, whether or not you care about me, whether or not you think your idol is going to protect you from me, you are wrong. You are as wrong as Hemotep was when it came to their idols and when it came to their sub-gods. Because understand me, I don't start from the bottom up when it comes to the work I'm doing now. I start from the top down. because I ask a churchgoer, hey, who's your, you're obviously in a faith. What faith are you in? Oh, Jesus. Okay, so you're basically into Roman idolatry. So who's your God? Jesus. Oh, okay, so he's your God and he's your, okay, all right, I got you. And so then what about your Bible? What's your Bible? Oh, it's the New Testament, It's like, okay, I obviously, if I'm taking down like the person's test score, I'm like, okay, well, you failed drastically. You have negative points. But then I go up to the next person and the next person, the next person, and all I see is complete and utter idiocy. Like, people are literally being slayed by demonic powers for lack of knowledge. I mean, if that verse doesn't come out and slap the shit out of you, I don't know what else will. And the only way around it is to come to the one true God, me, Yahweh Elohim, YAHUWAH. And that again is the opening chapter of Genesis. It goes all the way through Exodus, all the way through Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Numbers. Like, these are not new concepts, or should not be new concepts to Christians. I don't know where this idea came in that, oh, well, the Jews have the Old Testament, the Christians have the New Testament, and we're going to try to play competing gods. Our Jesus versus your Yahweh. Debased, man. Insane human beings. You guys are like, I haven't seen this movie in probably 20 years, but it just gave me an idea kind of how to explain how I as Elohim am seeing a lot of Christians these days. In the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas, you have the skeleton guy, his little girlfriend, but then at the end, God, what was his name? Oh, hold on. I gotta look his name up. I'm not great at cultural things, but what is it? Nightmare Before Christmas. That's another thing. Like, what a crappy way to display Christmas. Like, even if, like, that's another thing. Even if we took the idol of Jesus into any kind of serious account, the way you guys throughout your media, your songs, and just your overall demeanor towards that, like, you're desecrating things that even if you assume they're holy, like, you really are wicked and evil people. But that's what I mean. Like, how are you on one side going to talk about, like, Jesus saves, while yet so many Christians you guys are all wearing like Nightmare Before Christmas things, Harlequin demon, like that literally means the whoring demon. You have the devil, clown with tear-away face, Sandy Claus. Anyway, Oogie Boogie, that was the character's name. And so, Christians, since how most of you have probably already seen this, I mean, it's almost Halloween, one of your favorite holidays, so I'm going to see a bunch of these so-called God-fearing people running around in little devil costumes. And you're supposed to be my people. Well, I'll put your asses up for adoption, because the Oogie Boogie character in the movie, when I guess he finally, I don't know how it happens, but he gets unzipped or something, and when his clothing comes off, it's just bugs. It's just nasty bugs. Every type of bug, every creepy and crawly that could fit in that packed little sackcloth is what makes up Oogie Boogie. That is what makes up most of Christians. It really does. Your Jesus culture has not only led you astray, but by using names that have no power, by placebo-ly saving yourselves. Like, you guys are indulged in really pagan ritual, if you want to call it that. Like, I think I would be safe, very safe in my own testament to these things as my own witness. I only need my own self as a witness, by the way. So if anybody thinks that, we're gonna just wait Yahweh out and then when he leaves we'll go back to our idolatry. Yeah, guess what? They died in the desert. They died in the desert. And I need servants at some point, don't I? So I'll ensure that we will rebirth you into a position that you will be a service to all those that are going to be right with my kingdom. Which leads me to my next point, You know, Keir Starmer, if you truly do, like, that's insanity. You guys are so disgusting to me. You know, I don't even go into that. But Keir Starmer, you know, I know you have a spine because I put it there. Now, your reluctance to use it is your problem. But understand me. If England decides to put their ass on the frying pan and go for a two-state solution, I'm going to assume you mean you're going to put it right there in the smack of England. Why don't you go ahead and put up a little Hamas camp right next to Castle Windsor, and let's see how your king likes that. You won't never do that, would you? You'd never do that, would you? No. You'd rather sit in the nosebleed sections, point fingers, and say, well, Israel, then you do it. Israel's like this big. England's about that big. And at the end of the day, I can crush any and all nations in which I please. So I'm not too frazzled by that. So point is, if you're not gonna side with goodness, then your next best safe bet is to shut the fuck up. Australia, I'm about to have a heyday on your continent. I am about to rock your world. You little Aussies ain't gonna know what the fuck just happened to you, cause I'm about to take you out into the outback and I'm about to show you what your desert deity can really do. I will crack the earth. I will make miles wide divides. I will literally collapse your places of capital. I will choke the trade holds so harsh. President Trump, do as I say. He does what I say. That's true. And you know what? After our little visit here with you, and he gets back to America, go ahead. Dribble your little mouth a two-state solution. Dribble your little mouth about sanctioning Israel. Because let me tell you something. If you sanction Israel, go the hell ahead. I don't care. Israel's going to be just fine by itself. And if they only trade with America, then so be it. Because let me tell you something. There's a commodity that the world doesn't even understand yet. That's me. In the very short future, imagine 6 months or less, go ahead and mark it as a witness. Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, mark it as a witness. Within 6 months, your nations will be not only on fire, your constituents will be starving, your politicians will be drug out into the street, ripped to shreds, disemboweled, beheaded by the very hands in which you feed, because you have let demons take hold. Then you have let them and take property, possession of people, and you did not check it. You did not check evil at the door. You wanted to appease, honestly, demonic ideals. And why did you do that? Because you're led astray. How are you led astray? Because you prayed to false idols. Why do you pray to false idols? Because the Church of Rome needed to stay in power. The Church of Rome is in power. Rome never fell. It just turned into a Catholic religion. Hey! So, that's what I mean. You guys, you can't see your own asshole to wipe it, and yet you're calling other people's stink. That's what I mean. Like, you are insane. You are debased. You don't even have the self-awareness enough to self-evaluate yourself and go, I am a demon-worshipping little shit. God is real, and he is really pissed. Yeah, that's fact. So, you know, and look, like I said, hey, I just call the shots. You guys make the choices. See, I got my little Charlie Kirk pen. Only you can prevent socialism. See, look at that. Isn't that great? Point being is, I want everybody to be saved. I want everybody to come to the truth that is I want everybody to put down the idols' names. And that's the thing. People are like, but I can't. Yeah, because you're fucking addicted. Look at drug addicts. Imagine someone who's not on drugs, right? And they're talking to their, 40-year-old son who's on drugs, and it's like, It's like, hey, sweetie, you know, we really want you to stop doing drugs because we see it's rotting your mind. Like, the quality of you as a person has gone downhill. No, I can't get my stupid pen back up. There we go. You know, and, I forgot what the heck I was saying. Point being, you know, I just tell you what's about to happen, and then I let the human beings make your decisions. And mostly you all make the wrong ones, right? Because you are living in fear. You're living in a fear-based dilemma. Oh, I'm terrified of man. I'm so scared that if I tell Aunt Susie the real name of God, that she's gonna disown me and I can't go to her house for Sunday ham. Oh, shit. On the other side, it's, oh, God's kind of mean. Oh, he's a bully. Well, no, not really. Not if you understand the wrath stems from you, not me. Wrath comes from the disobedience of the children of earth and the destabilization of yourselves, your spiritual health, and again, the little human farm has gone completely apeshit. And you all have been under a great deception. And you know what? So many Christians to this day, you've heard the truth, but you have never even decided to research it for yourself. You've never even went out on that limb. Because in your heart, you even say, I'm not gonna look because even if it says this, I'm still gonna believe in my Jesus. I'll tell you something. Fake names don't work with me. What works with me is thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness. That's the point. I'm never going to accept anybody who bears false witness, especially to me. That's the stupidest thing you could ever do. Like, it really is. You're bearing false witness, and it's not a good thing. Like, it is not a good thing. So, as another thing, like Pope Leo, you know, I'm not gonna change anything Francis did. Oh, Francis. I took Francis, you butthead, and I'll take you too. Because guess what? It's not Francis's church. It's not your church. It's supposed to be my church. But that's not my name. And the dead little body thing is really creepy. You guys are a pagan cult, really. And I say in the written word of divine written word by me, Elohim, Yahweh Elohim, this is the way to do something. And the Catholic Church goes, well, I mean, no, let's be honest, right? Pope Francis was God, right? Gay marriage in the church, of course. You know, we'll make an inquiry into child abuse. You know, that's what I mean. You human beings are so faulty. It boils me. It boils me. And the sad part is, when I give you a strong rebuke, you don't even listen. Hell, even the churches that have my name, that know I'm here, you are like the little kids in the daycare. Well, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. I haven't been taken into the air. I haven't been given a castle. I haven't been given money. I haven't pet Jesus. You will be clamoring in hell. You will be thrown into the pit. You will be engulfed into a lake of fire. Catholicism will not run on this earth. Those using the fake name, again I say, if you've invested in the false name, you're about to go bankrupt. If you've invested in a false idealization, and you worship man, and you worship messiahs, and you worship anything other than Elohim, the one true Elohim, then you are about to go bankrupt. I swear it. More than a swear. It's a promise. Alright, I'm going to take a quick 5. And then I will return. Isn't that prophetic? And I'm back. It's another thing. You know, I have literally kept King Charles alive way longer than he should have been because of his promises when he was on a kneeled altar. I am cashing in all of you who have knelt down asking for my favor, and I have given it. I have given a very, very long rope. That rope is either going to save you or it is going to hang you. Because the days of I give, humans worship an idol. I give, and I only exist when your cancer goes into remission, don't I? But then I apparently don't exist when it comes to the promises in which you've made to me. That is not following the commandments. That is not being a man or woman of your word. That is not showing any kindness to me, your Elohim, who makes all things possible. You talk about a grand dinner. Well, guess where all that food comes from? My earth. You're not flying around in spaceships going to planet cucumbers or going to planet wheat. I've given it to you here. And this crap that Jesus is the mediator between gods, let me ask you this. So then you're trying to then take every prophet out of the Bible at that point, and you're trying to say, well, then Isaiah was a false prophet. No, you're false. Ezekiel was a false prophet. No, you're false. Moses didn't exist. You're debased. So at what point did I, as Yahweh, say that there needed to be a mediator? If I'm the one that appointed Aaron. I mean, seriously. Seriously. You need a circumcision of the mind and of the heart. Because as of right now, I do not see either of them. Starmer, you're talking about putting pressure on Russia. I am going to be putting pressure on you. I am going to squeeze you. That is a promise, sweareth I, saith Yahweh Elohim Yahuwah. Because I am getting sick and tired of it. I do not know what other words and whatever combination humanity needs to hear before you put the car in drive and get it together. The only one playing pretend here are the humans upon Earth, acting like you don't know I'm here. Acting like most people upon the Earth, most countries upon the Earth have heard about me now. People have been healed in my name, my true name. People have seen miracles only I as Elohim can do. Miracles for the good and miracles for the bad. Let me tell you. Starmer, you better do a right about face and start leading your country into the salvation which is I, Yahweh Elohim YAHWEH. This is your final warning. Australia, final warning. France, final warning. Iran, final warning. Syria, final warning. Yemen, final warning. North Korea, final warning. Russia, we are getting really close to me making examples. And when I make examples out of you, I want to see. Like you guys are covering Charlie Kirk, I want you to cover the millions of lives lost and the perilous events that are soon to occur. And you will know I am not only the Lord, not only Elohim, but I am God Almighty in the flesh. I am Yahweh Elohim YAHWEH, Yahweh, Adonai, Hashem, I am not a mediator, and I don't need one. My absence from your domain has been a punishment that none of you have even understood. And instead of coming home to repentant hearts, instead of coming home to see anything good, I have came home to disrespectful, idiot-minded, heartless human beings. So Israel, continue the campaign. Continue the campaign. Keep my name close to your heart and your mind. Because you know what? If the world closes its door on you, get on your knees and thank me. Because truly I am going to save you a lot of heartache and a lot of headache. Do not transpire with the devil for trade. Do not transpire with those who conspire against you. Have not I said, do not do it. Because you know what? They could withhold every resource from you, Israel, and I, as your Elohim, will feed you by hand. I swear to it. Saith I, Yahweh Elohim, YAHUWAH. You depend upon me, not the nations. You depend upon my holy provisions in which I alone will give you. Same thing goes for America. But America, you've got a lawless heathen Jesus problem. You do. Because demons are going to attack it day and night, day and night, day and night. As I not said. The only way to combat them is to use the God in which you're supposed to worship and honor and serve. Except for a very, very small few. And I'm talking, I could fit the few in the palm of my hand who actually honor, worship, and pray in accordance with my Torah and walk obedient unto me and are in my purview. Because let me tell you something. If you're trying to sit on the sidelines and hiding away from me, while then secretly trying to make yourself okay, that's a selfish heart. That is a selfish heart. You are trying to straddle the fence. You're either going to come out publicly with your faith and stand on truth, and then you will be in the bull. Then you will be in that bull, used to be called the brazen bull. This is when kings, think of that, when kings would put my people in a bull because my people said, we can't eat that because of our God. We can't do that because of our God. And they would even offend kings. Oh my. And the king would get mad and say, throw him in the bull. Well, guess who is in that bull? Not Jesus. My point is, I save my people. I protect my people. But in order for that to happen, you do have to be an Abednego. You do have to be a Daniel. You do have to be an Abraham, Moses, Joshua. You have to step into your person now. And you don't fear the world. You don't fear a sanction. You don't fear a vote. Have not I said I will take care of these UN? These UN people, their warrants have already been signed upstairs. I, as Elohim, have already signed them. I've just signed 2.7 million souls. That's a big chunk. 2.7, that's 2,700,000 souls I have just signed for. All on a shuttle down south. And I don't mean South America. I don't mean Colombia. Speaking of Colombia, you need to stop this cocaine, heroin stuff, because I am about to rock you and sink you into the ocean. Sweareth I, saith Yahweh. Venezuela, I don't even know what you are, who you are, or what you do, but I don't like you. Understand that. I make these videos. I pester my own self by making these videos instead of going out in my garden and clipping roses. Instead of going out in my garden and counting how many more new baby birds I have, how many new baby lizards I have, and how my family of squirrels is exploding now. It's like an acrobat type of thing. I take my personal interests and I put them aside to give you proper warnings, to give you proper perspective, and so everyone has a fair chance at salvation. And what do I get? What do I get? I get idolatry. I get fake names. Hell, you don't even follow the commandments. If this is not dressed up as a satanic, demonic religion, this is the equivalent of rewriting Genesis and saying that, you know, guys, the real way is make sure when you see Yahweh, you do the opposite. He said, don't eat, go eat. He said, eat, don't eat. He says, listen, don't listen. This is what you do to me every day. Truly, truly, you are all obstinate from me. In the flesh, in person, in heart, in mind, in body, and soul. And guess what? You want to spend your short remaining time fearing man, then you're going to spend eternity with those like you. And those like you are demons. Disembodied spirits that want to do nothing but harm to human beings. And even after your flesh, they want to do you harm. They do. So all your gender dysphoric people that are in hell, you'll join them, Christians. You sit there on Sunday in your little, you know, nightmare before Christmas. I love Jesus. Yeah, you're going to hell. Sweareth I, saith the Lord God Almighty, YAHWEH ELOHIM, YAHUWAH. My word does not return to me void. Only those that are covering themselves with my wings, that is my name. When you are using my name and you are only looking to me, your mighty one, that is when you are coming to the realization you're working your salvation out through fear and through trembling. Alright, I have to get my crock pot going. Tonight we are doing homemade beef stroganoff. It is excellent. A future mishpah, when I have the temple in the very near future in Israel, in the land of Israel, when my temple is built, I will have food for all my people. There will not be one hungry stomach on my land. And my walls, I will raise my walls 40 feet tall, 6 feet thick. I will have watchtowers. My people will gather inside. And when the world begins to collapse and the news can't even keep up, the moment it opens its mouth about one peril, another one, before they even cover that, another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And the skies are dark red and black, and the moon shows no light, and the sun shows no light. The only light is from the glow of fires upon the earth. A time that has never been before. The only place of refuge, the only place of clean air, the only place of food, of shelter, of water will be where I am at. And guess what? To all of your detriment, because the safety is only where I'm at. If I stay in Florida, it'll be within a 10-mile radius of me. If I go to Arkansas, 10-mile radius of me. But if I go to Israel, it'll be all of my land. So when I'm telling you, I am holding back billions already signed for true textbook biblical canon worthy tribulation is being held back for a very short time only because I do not have a place big enough to house all those who call me Abba, who pray to the name of YAHWEH ELOHIM, YAHUWAH, YAHWEH. Only I can do what I do. That is the proof of who I am. That is the confirmation of character. It is the confirmation of not only the signs, the miracles, thus that have been proven any time my presence is upon the earth. Faulty man. If you do not see me as YAHWEH Elohim, who operated through the flesh of Yeshua, then you're wrong and you're faulty. You do not praise and honor that flesh. You praise and honor me, the God that worked through him. Even he said, did he not? The Father is in me, for I am not good. Why do you call me good? For there is only one that is good, that is the Father. Thus fact. Alright, I'm going to get my crock pot going, and then I will come back for part 3. And we're back for our third part here today. So, update on the crock pot meal. I'm not sure if I said this, but it's homemade beef stroganoff. So, it's a big hit in the family. And we are a busy family. We have a lot of stuff we do. Not only for the world, not only for the community, but also the children. Now, we are going to go into... you know, as much as we're having, you know, donations and like all these things being poured out, you know, for the widow of Charlie, I would like that the unfortunate situation involving the 3 officers in Pennsylvania, you know, it's sad. It's sad because these people are heroes. You know, they're putting on the blue uniform, they're going after evil, and they're not getting any glory. They're not getting any recognition. And, you know, personally, I think news stations, you know, should be, you know, putting that out there. You know, their widows need not only the church community, not the Jesus culture. They need a community who prays and worships unto YAHWEH Elohim YAHUWAH. They need real healing. You know, that's what I mean. You know, you have to literally scrub through these articles to even find names. How sad is that? Like, how sad is that? They don't even have names. Like, that's really sad. You know? You know, that's what I mean. Like, you know, but that's not news, right? That's not news. 3 heroes died trying to do their community and all the good people in that community who do not need to be under threat for not only domestic terrorism, But people that commit crime, they break the law, they circumvent the right way, and yet they should be somehow rewarded into the leftist ideals. And then now the news, it's small fries to Charlie Kirk, right? It's small fries. That's what I mean. This entire human society does nothing but disgust me. Nothing but disgust me. I mean, I don't even feel bad about the peril that I will inject into this sphere of what you call reality. I am he who makes exist. I can make any and all things exist that I choose to. And as I said, at the end of the day, my temple in Israel will be the only place of salvation. It'll be the only place of clean air, clean water, abundant food. Absolutely zero crime. Zero crime. Meanwhile, right over my walls, everything will be a barren wasteland. You're talking apocalyptic to the max, Mad Max style. And people eat people already. You eat people by denouncing a crusade of righteousness against evil. You are eating from the table of demons. You are sharing a cup of blood with Satan himself. You need to come out of the harlotry, come out of the abominations. You need to have the electrifying truth poured into your vessel. Because when that happens, and your foot is on earth, and the right foot is in the realms, is in heaven, and you feel the firmness of both, then you'll know that nothing else can do. And when you see my name on the side post of that fence, and you see my name made great in every place, in not only heaven but in the realms, that is the only name given unto man for salvation, deliverance, and eternal life with me, your Elohim. So, you know, the Jimmy Kimmel Show, never even watched it. But again, any society that takes great pleasure in demonstrous behavior of any way, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Because it's that very behavior, speaking ill of the dead, you know, trying to upend the very leaders of your country who are trying to serve you, constituents, you know, trying to constantly put stumbling blocks in their ways because you don't agree. This is all demonic behavior. This is all schemes of the devil. And I really don't know what other words, what other combination of words, what other rhymes I need to do to get people on the right path. You know, let's look at a parable and then we'll close. Now let's say it's food to a child, you know, child about 8. You know, they don't have a very wide palate at this time because they haven't really developed that. Some tastes are acquired, but once they're acquired, they're more than palatable, right? You know, coffee, typically if you were to let a child try coffee, they'd probably spit it out. But as humans age and you mature, your flavor changes. You desire something different. Well, imagine if that 8-year-old, you know, doesn't know anything about nutrition, doesn't know anything about health, right? But he was raised on Little Debbie snack cakes. And in his viewpoint, he's like, man, I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm just, but I love that sweetness. Like, I love that sweetness. That sweetness is real. And, you know, then now let's say a real parent steps into the picture. Let's say, you know, the kid's gone, and now he's, you know, at a new family. And the new family goes, little Johnny, I'm really sorry, but, you know, we're going to serve you real food here. The little fat kid is going to, like, what is that? Like, my snack cakes are my real food. I want my real food. And the parents are trying to explain to him, little Johnny, the snack cakes are making you overweight. And he's like, no, that's a good thing. I'm supposed to be overweight. Like, my parents were overweight. I'm supposed to be overweight. And it's like, the good parents now are like, no, you need to have a proper proportion of what your Elohim, you know, made for you, so then you can, you know, carry out your designed purpose effectively. And little Johnny doesn't want to hear that. He gets upset. And the good parents are putting in front of him, you know, a nice beef steak with some collard greens or some green beans, you know, some mashed potatoes, and, you know, a nice glass of whole milk. And he looks at that and he's like, that's not good for me. I can't eat that. I'll throw up. I can only eat my Little Debbies. That's what I like. I don't want that. And good parents are like, little Johnny, after your doctor's visit, they said that, you know, you have diabetes. You're only 8 years old, but the good news is if we can get you to lose weight now while you're young, then you won't have to deal with a lifelong disease. And then a lot of times you're going to die prematurely of heart issues, vascular issues. It actually causes things like dementia. It rots away the neuroreceptors of the human mind that your Elohim gave you. And little Johnny stopped listening to everything they said a long time ago, because all that's on his mind is that Little Debbie snack cake. And he doesn't want to eat that truth. He doesn't want to eat that healthy truth. It doesn't matter how good the new parents are, until little Johnny can see for himself that he's going down the wrong road, falsely thinking that his Little Debbies are solving his problems, because he's making the excuses, well, I'm alive, they're doing enough to keep me alive, that's enough, right? If they were bad, they wouldn't taste good. And besides, all my friends love Little Debbies, you know? And the parable, the Little Debbies are idolatry. Little Debbies are the idol of Jesus. Little Debbies are thinking that I, as Yahweh Elohim, do not exist. Little Debbies are going to man, preachers, teachers, rabbis, presidents, kings and queens, and dukes and lords and counts and countesses and prime ministers and all the people. All the people. To the human, those are all Little Debbies. They are sweet in thy mouth, but then they are bitter in thy stomach. And the result is the diabetes, or is a sin. It is being far away from me, your Elohim, your good father. I am not here to please you. I am not here to make you feel comfortable. Newsflash. All the truly righteous people have already left. You who are left on earth now are truly in dire straits. You are all that little kid, massively overweight, severe diabetes, heart issues, circulation issues, and that little kid is still trucking along, calling it good. Thus is the Christians, thus are any and all people. can't even categorize religion because there is none for me. I am just a creator who desired a people and require holiness upon my earth, and abstaining from sin abstains from violence and lies and fornication and rape and abuse and all the criminal negligence that humans do on a daily basis. All stem from your free will to choose the little Debbies and the bad parents, or to come to the realization that the good parents are telling me I need to eat better, and I know it's uncomfortable and it's not what I'm used to, but I know that the logic is sound. I know that the truth is there, that the proof through medical science even is there in the little Debbie. The proof of me is Yahweh Elohim, from Genesis through the first 5 books of the Bible, and through witness accounts as I as Elohim, how I've worked through and in and out of creation at various times. That is the proof that I am the only nutrition you need and should have. Do not supplement me, the healthy food, for your idols. Do not supplement that protein, that greens that have vitamin K and B, the glass of milk full of vitamin C and D. You know, all these things build up to a spiritual immunity to wicked and to evil, but also a sensitivity to sin and a sensitivity to when I speak, you should be propelled to listen. You should be listening, because the first time in your human history, this book at least, you are all hearing the literal voice of Almighty God. As I am He. I am Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh. So, we have some, again, big ticket items. And at this point, the only message, the only effective message that any and all people that know the truth of me need to have: my name, my commandments, and that I'm here, and that me being here should shake the very core of a real human. If they're demon infested, you're probably not going to shake their core. You're probably going to irritate them. They're probably going to start giving you excuses of why they're eating Little Debbies, and they're going to continue to eat Little Debbies, and then they actually will try to sell you the Little Debbies. This is your Jesus, people. Truly, truly, I tell you, anybody who falls into idolatry, false names, gold, wood, stone, you're setting up ordinances and decrees directly against my Bible, directly against my written word, directly against my spoken word, directly against me as God, as a person on my creation. I will be listening intently, and I will be looking intently. But know and understand that I will continue to usher those to death who carry lies, or to life who carry my name. Simple. Choose healthy, choose me. Choose unhealthy, you're choosing Jesus. And I think we'll leave it there. I think everyone should have a very clear understanding of what it is I desire, what is going to happen in the future, very near future. So, let's see. Let's see.